All right, so I just stumbled across this. Apparently, there is the unsealed documents about the whole Epstein and Maxwell situation, so we're going to get into it. All right. Miss Maxwell personally was involved in a sexual abuse and sex trafficking scheme created by Epstein. Miss Maxwell approached plaintiff in 1999 when plaintiff was 15 years old to recruit her into the scheme. Miss Maxwell was one of the main women Epstein used to procure underage girls for sexual activities. Miss Maxwell, primary co-conspirator with Epstein in his scheme. She persuaded plaintiff to go to Epstein's mansion in a fashion very similar to the manner in which Epstein and his other co-conspirators coerced dozens of other children. At the mansion, when plaintiff began giving Epstein a massage, he and Miss Maxwell turned it into a sexual encounter. Epstein, with the assistance of Miss Maxwell, converted plaintiff into a sex slave. Plaintiff was a sex slave from about 1999 through 2002. Miss Maxwell also was a co-conspirator in Epstein's sexual abuse. Miss Maxwell appreciated the immunity she acquired under Epstein's plea agreement because the immunity protected her from prosecution for the crimes she committed in Florida. Miss Maxwell participated in the sexual abuse of plaintiff and others. Miss Maxwell took numerous sexually explicit pictures of underage girls involved in sexual activities, including the plaintiff. She shared the photos with Epstein. As part of her role in Epstein's sexual abuse ring, Miss Maxwell connected Epstein with powerful individuals so that Epstein could traffic plaintiff to these persons. Plaintiff was forced to have sexual relations with Prince Andrew in Miss Maxwell's apartment in London. Miss Maxwell facilitated plaintiff's sex with Prince Andrew by acting as a madame for Epstein. Miss Maxwell assisted in internationally trafficking plaintiff and numerous other young girls for sexual purposes. Plaintiff was forced to watch Epstein, Miss Maxwell, and others engage in illegal sexual acts with dozens of underage girls. Okay. In the joinder motion, plaintiff also alleged she was forced to have sex with Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, model scout Jean-Luc Brunel, and many other powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, a well-known prime minister, and other world leaders. Plaintiff said after serving for 4 years as a sex slave, she managed to escape to a foreign country and hide out from Epstein and his co-conspirators for years. Plaintiff suggested the government was part of Epstein's conspiracy when it secretly negotiated a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein precluding federal prosecution of Epstein and his co-conspirators. The government's secrecy, plaintiff alleged, was motivated by its fear that the plaintiff would raise powerful objections to the agreement that would have shed tremendous public light on Epstein and other powerful individuals. Notably, the other Jane Doe who joined plaintiff's motion, who alleged she was sexually abused on many occasions by Epstein, was unable to corroborate any of the plaintiff's allegations. Also notably, in her multiple and lengthy consensual interviews with Miss Churcher 3 years earlier, plaintiff told Miss Churcher of virtually none of these details she described in the joinder motion. Miss Maxwell's response to the plaintiff's lurid accusations, the January 2015 statement, as plaintiff and her lawyers expected before District Judge Mara in the CVRA. Action could strike in the lurid details of plaintiff allegations in the joinder motion. Members of the media obtained copies of the motion. At Mr. Barden's direction, on January 3, 2015, Mr. Gao sent to numerous representatives of British media organizations an email containing a quotable statement on behalf of Miss Maxwell. The email was sent to more than 6 and probably less than 30 media representatives. It was not sent to non-media representatives. Among the media representatives were Martin Robinson of the Daily Mail, P. Peachy of the Independent, Nick Summerlad of the Mirror, David Brown of the Times, and Nick Always and Joanne Pugh of BBC, and David Mercer of the Press Association. These representatives were selected based on their request after the joinder motion was filed for a response from Ms. Maxwell to plaintiff allegations in the motion. The email to the media members read, "To whom it may concern, please find attached a quotable statement on behalf of Miss Maxwell. No further communication will be provided by her on this matter. Thanks for your understanding. Best, Ross." Ross Gow. Acuity Reputation. Jane Doe 3 is Virginia Roberts, so not a new individual. The allegations made by Victoria Roberts against Ghislaine Maxwell are untrue. The original allegations are not new and have been fully responded to and shown to be untrue. Each time the story is retold, it changes with new salacious details about public figures and the world leaders, and now is alleged by Miss Roberts that Alan Dershowitz is involved in having sexual relations with her, which he denies. Miss Roberts' claims are obviously lies and should be treated as such and not publicized as news, as they are defamatory. Ghislaine Maxwell's original response to the lies and defamatory claims remains the same. Maxwell strongly denies allegations of an unsavory nature which have appeared in the British press and elsewhere, and reserves her right to seek redress at the repetition of such old defamatory claims. Mr. Barden, who prepared the January 2015 statement, did not intend it as a traditional press release solely to disseminate information to the media. So he intentionally did not pass it through a public relations firm, such as Mr. Gow's firm, Acuity Reputation. Hold on. All right, so let's scroll down. Sorry. All right, the January 2015 statement served two purposes. First, Mr. Barden intended that it mitigate the harm to Miss Maxwell's reputation from the press's publication of plaintiff's false allegations. He believed these ends could be accomplished by suggesting to the media that, among other things, they should subject plaintiff's allegations to inquiry and scrutiny. For example, he noted in the statement that plaintiff's allegations changed dramatically over time, suggesting that they are obvious lies and therefore should not be publicized as news. Second, Mr. Barden intended the January 2015 statement to be a shot across the bow of the media, which he believed had been unduly eager to publish plaintiff's allegations without conducting an inquiry of their own. Accordingly, in the statement, he repeatedly noted that plaintiff's allegations were defamatory. In this sense, the statement was intended as a cease and desist letter to the media recipients, letting the media recipients understand the seriousness with which Miss Maxwell considered the publication of plaintiffs' obviously false allegations and the legal indefensibility of their own conduct. Consistent with those two purposes, Mr. Gow's emails prefaced the statement with the following language. Please find attached a quotable statement on behalf of Miss Maxwell. Emphasis supplied. The statement was intended to be a single, one-time only, comprehensive response quoted in full to plaintiff's December 30th, 2014 allegations that would give the media Miss Maxwell's response. The purpose of the prefatory statement was to inform the media recipients of this intent. Plaintiff's activities to bring light to the rights of victims of sexual abuse. Plaintiff has engaged in numerous activities to bring attention to herself, to the prosecution and punishment of wealthy individuals such as Epstein, and to her claimed interest of bringing light to the rights of victims in sexual abuse. Plaintiff created an organization, Victims Refuse Silence, Incorporated, a Florida corporation directly related to her alleged experience as a victim of sexual abuse. The goal of Victims Refuse Silence was and continues to be to help survivors surmount the shame, silence, and intimidation typically experienced by victims of sexual abuse. Toward this end, plaintiff has dedicated her professional life to helping victims of sex trafficking. Plaintiff repeatedly has sought out media organizations to discuss her alleged experience as a victim of sexual abuse. On December 30th, 2014, plaintiff publicly filed an entirely unnecessary joinder motion laden with unnecessary lurid details about being sexually abused as a minor victim by wealthy and famous men and being trafficked all around the world as a sex slave. The plaintiff's alleged purpose in filing the joinder motion was to vindicate her rights under the CVRA, expose the government's secretly negotiated non-prosecution agreement with Epstein, shed tremendous public light on Epstein and other powerful individuals that would undermine the agreement, and support the CVRA plaintiff's request for documents that would show how Epstein used his powerful political and social connections to secure a favorable plea deal, and the government's motive to aid Epstein and his co-conspirators. Plaintiff has written the manuscript of a book she has been trying to publish detailing her alleged experience as a victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking and Epstein's alleged sex scheme. Republication of alleged by plaintiff. Plaintiff was required by an interrogatory number 6 to identify any false statements attributed to Miss Maxwell that were published globally, including within the Southern District of New York, as plaintiff alleged in paragraph 9 of count 1 of her complaint. In response, plaintiff identifies the January 2015 statement and 9 instances in which various news media published portions of the 2015 statement in news articles or broadcast stories. In none of the 9 instances was there any publication of the entire January 2015 statement. Miss Maxwell and her agents exercised no control or authority over any media organization, including the media identified plaintiff's response to interrogatory. Number 6, in connection with the media's publication of portions of the January 2015 statement. Plaintiff's defamation action against Miss Maxwell. 8 years after Epstein's guilty plea, plaintiff brought this action, repeating many of the allegations she made in her CVRA joinder motion. The complaint alleged that the January 2015 statement contained the following deliberate falsehoods. A. That Jeffrey's sworn allegations against Ghislaine Maxwell are untrue. B. That the allegations have been shown to be untrue. And C. That Jeffrey's claims are obvious lies. Plaintiff lived independently from her parents with her fiancé long before meeting Epstein or Miss Maxwell. After leaving the Growing Together drug rehabilitation facility in 1999, plaintiff moved in with the family of a fellow patient. There, she met and became engaged to her friend's brother, James Michael Ostrich. She and Ostrich therefore rented an apartment in the Fort Lauderdale area with another friend, and both worked at various jobs in the area. Later, they stayed briefly with plaintiff's parents in Palm Beach, Loxahatchee, Florida, and before Ostrich rented an apartment for the couple on Bent Oak Drive in Royal Palm Beach. Although plaintiff agreed to marry Ostrich, she never had any intention of doing so. Plaintiff re-enrolled in high school from June 21, 2000 until March 7, 2002. After finishing the ninth grade school year at Forest Hills High School on June 9, 1999, plaintiff re-enrolled at Wellington Adult High School on June 21, 2000, again on August 16, 2000, and on August 14, 2001. On September 20th, 2001, plaintiff then enrolled at Royal Palm Beach High School. A few weeks later, on October 12, 2001, she matriculated at Survivors Charter School. Survivors Charter School was an alternative school designed to assist students who had been unsuccessful at more traditional schools. Plaintiff remained enrolled at Survivors Charter School until March 7, 2002. She was present 56 days and absent 13 days during her time there. Plaintiff never received her high school diploma or GED. Plaintiff and Figueroa went back to school together at Survivors Charter School. The school day there lasted from morning until early afternoon. During the year 2000, plaintiff worked at numerous jobs. In 2000, while living with her fiancé, plaintiff held 5 different jobs at Aviculture Breeding and Research Center, Southeast Employee Management Company. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, I had to pause. The club at Mar-a-Lago, Oasis Outsourcing, and Neiman Marcus. Her taxable earnings that year totaled nearly $9,000. Plaintiff cannot now recall either the Southeast Employee Management Company or the Oasis outsourcing jobs. Plaintiff's employment at the Mar-a-Lago Spa began in fall 2000. Plaintiff's father, Sky Roberts, was hired as a maintenance worker at the Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida. Beginning on April 11, 2000, Mr. Roberts worked there year-round for approximately 3 years. After working there for a period of time, Mr. Roberts became acquainted with the head of the spa and recommended plaintiff for a job there. Mar-a-Lago closes every Mother's Day and reopens on November 1st. Most of the employees at Mar-a-Lago, including all employees of the spa area, such as spa attendants, are seasonal and work only when the club is open, between November 1st and Mother's Day. Plaintiff was hired as a seasonal spa attendant to work at the Mar-a-Lago Club in the fall of 2000 after she had turned 17. Plaintiff represented herself as a masseuse for Jeffrey Epstein. While working at the Mar-a-Lago Spa and reading a library book about massage, plaintiff met Miss Maxwell. Plaintiff therefore thereafter, told her father that she got a job working for Jeffrey Epstein as a masseuse. Plaintiff's father took her to Epstein's house on the occasion around that time, and Epstein came outside and introduced himself to Mr. Roberts. Plaintiff commenced employment as a traveling masseuse for Mr. Epstein. Plaintiff was excited about her job as a masseuse, about traveling with him, and about meeting famous people. Plaintiff represented that she was employed as a masseuse beginning in January 2001. Plaintiff never mentioned Miss Maxwell to her then fiancé, Ostrich. Plaintiff's father never met Miss Maxwell. Plaintiff resumed her relationship with convicted felon Anthony Figueroa in spring 2001. While living with Ostrich, plaintiff lied to and cheated on him with her high school boyfriend, Anthony Figueroa. Plaintiff and Ostrich thereafter broke up, and Figueroa moved into the Bent Oak apartment with plaintiff. When Ostrich returned to the Bent Oak apartment to check on his pets and retrieve his belongings, Figueroa, in plaintiff's presence, punched Ostrich in the face. Figueroa and plaintiff fled the scene before police arrived. Figueroa was then a convicted felon and a drug abuser on probation for possession of controlled substance. Plaintiff freely and voluntarily contacted the police to come to her aid in 2001 and 2002, but never reported to them that she was Epstein's sex slave. In August 2001, at age 17, while living at the same apartment, plaintiff and Figueroa hosted a party with a number of guests. During the party, according to plaintiff, someone entered plaintiff's room and stole $500 from her shirt pocket. Plaintiff contacted the police. She met and spoke with the officers regarding the incident and filed a report. She did not disclose to the officer that she was a sex slave. A second time, in June 2002, plaintiff contacted the police to report that her former landlord had left her belongings by the roadside and had lit her mattress on fire. Again, plaintiff met and spoke with the law enforcement officers, but did not complain that she was the victim of any sexual trafficking or abuse, or that she was then being held as a sex slave. From August 2001 until September 2002, Epstein and Maxwell were almost entirely absent from Florida on documented travel accompanied by plaintiff. Flight logs maintained by Epstein's private pilot, Dave Rogers, evidence the substantial number of trips away from Florida that Epstein and Maxwell took, unaccompanied by plaintiff. Between August 2001 and September 2002, Rogers maintained a log of all flights on which Epstein and Maxwell traveled with him. Epstein additionally traveled with another pilot who did not keep such logs, and he also occasionally traveled via commercial flights. For substantially all of 13 months of the 22 months from November 2000 until September 2002, that plaintiff lived in Palm Beach and knew Epstein was traveling outside of Florida, unaccompanied by plaintiff. During the same period of time, plaintiff was employed at various jobs, enrolled in school, and living with her boyfriend. Plaintiff and Figueroa shared a vehicle during 2001 and 2002. Plaintiff and Figueroa shared a 93 white Pontiac in 2001 and 2002. Plaintiff freely traveled from the Palm Beach area in the vehicle. In August 2002, plaintiff acquired a Dodge Dakota pickup truck from her father. Figueroa used that vehicle in a series of crimes before and after plaintiff left for Thailand. Plaintiff held a number of jobs in 2001 and 2002. During 2001 and 2002, plaintiff was gainfully employed at several jobs. She worked as a waitress at Menino's restaurant, at TGI Fridays restaurant, aka CCI of Royal Palm Incorporated and at Roadhouse Grill. She also was employed at Courtyard Animal Hospital, aka Mark Pinkwasser DVM. In September 2002, plaintiff traveled to Thailand to receive massage training, and while there met her future husband and eloped with him. Plaintiff traveled to Thailand in September 2002 to receive formal training as a masseuse. Figueroa drove her to the airport. While there, she initially contacted Figueroa frequently, incurring a phone bill of $4,000. She met Robert Giuffre while in Thailand and decided to marry him. She thereafter ceased all contact with Figueroa from October 2002 until 2 days before Mr. Figueroa's deposition in this matter in May 2016. Detective Ricari's investigation of Epstein failed to uncover any evidence that Miss Maxwell was involved in sexual abuse of minors, sexual trafficking, or production or possession of CP. Joseph Ricari served as the lead detective from the Palm Beach Police Department charged with investigating Jeffrey Epstein. That investigation commenced in 2005. Ricari worked only on the Epstein case for an entire year. He reviewed previous officers' reports and interviews, conducted numerous interviews of witnesses and alleged victims himself, reviewed surveillance footage of the Epstein home, participated in and had knowledge of the search warrant executed on the Epstein home, and testified regarding the case before the Florida State Grand Jury against Epstein. Detective Ricari's investigation revealed that not one of the alleged Epstein victims ever mentioned Miss Maxwell's name, and she was never considered a suspect by the government. None of the Epstein's alleged victims said they had seen Miss Maxwell at Epstein's house, nor had they been recruited by her, nor paid any money by her, nor told what to wear or how to act by her. Indeed, none of Epstein's alleged victims ever reported to the government that they had met or spoken to Miss Maxwell. Maxwell was not seen coming or going from the house during the law enforcement surveillance of Epstein's home. The arrest warrant did not mention Miss Maxwell, and her name was never mentioned before the grand jury. No property belonging to Maxwell, including sex toys or CP, was seized from Epstein's home during execution of the search warrant. Detective Ricari, when asked to describe everything that you believe you know about Ghislaine Maxwell's sexual trafficking conduct, replied, "I don't." He confirmed he has no knowledge about Miss Maxwell sexually trafficking anybody. Detective Ricari also has no knowledge of plaintiff's conduct that is subject of this matter. No nude photograph of plaintiff was displayed in Epstein's home. Epstein's housekeeper, Juan Alessi, never saw any photographs of Virginia Roberts in Mr. Epstein's house. Detective Ricari entered Epstein's home in 2002 to install security cameras to catch a thief and did not observe any CP within the home, including on Epstein's desk in his office. Plaintiff intentionally destroyed her journal and dream journal regarding her memories of this case. In 2013, while represented by counsel, plaintiff drafted a journal describing individuals to whom she claims she was sexually trafficked, as well as her memories and thoughts and experiences with Epstein. In 2013, she and her husband created a bonfire in her backyard in Florida and burned the journal together with other documents in her possession. Plaintiff also kept a dream journal regarding her thoughts and memories she possessed in January 2016. To date, plaintiff cannot locate the dream journal. Okay, so I'm starting to get bored with a lot of this. No offense to those involved, but let's see. There we go. Plaintiffs publicly filed lurid CVRA pleadings initiated a media frenzy and generated highly publicized litigation between her lawyers and Alan Dershowitz. On December 30th, 2014, plaintiff, through counsel, publicly filed a joinder motion that contained her lurid allegations about Miss Maxwell and many others, including Alan Dershowitz, Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc Brunel. The joinder motion was followed by a corrected motion and two further declarations in January and February 2015, which repeated many of the plaintiff's claims. These CVRA pleadings generated a media maelstrom and spawned highly publicized litigation between plaintiffs' lawyers, Edwards and Castle, and Alan Dershowitz. After plaintiff publicly alleged Mr. Dershowitz of sexual misconduct, Mr. Dershowitz vigorously defended himself in the media. He called plaintiff a liar and accused her lawyers of unethical conduct. In response, attorneys Edwards and Castle sued Dershowitz, who counterclaimed. This litigation in turn caused additional media attention by national and international media organizations. Plaintiff formed non-profit victims refuse silence to attract publicity and speak out on a public controversy. In 2014, plaintiff, with the assistance of the same counsel, formed a non-profit organization, Victims Refuse Silence. According to plaintiff, the purpose of the organization is to promote plaintiff's professed cause against sex slavery. The stated goal of her organization is to help survivors surmount the shame, silence, intimidation typically experienced by victims of sexual abuse. Plaintiff attempts to promote victims refuse silence at every opportunity. For example, plaintiff participated in an interview in New York with ABC to promote the charity and to get her mission out to the public. Dated January 6, 2017. Ooh, that was a lot. All right, hold on. Scrolling. So we have Alan Dersh in there. The whole thing is unsealed, which is great, but it's like 2,000 pages long, so I don't know if I want to sit here and read the whole thing. But it's important to note who's, been mentioned, how it's all connected. Let's see, Condé Nast, Green Harbor Homeowners, Black Cell, Filipino Reporter. I think it's all for defamation is where they were suing everybody. I'm going to put a link to how you can get to this document. That way you can finish reading it for yourself. I kind of did the first bit for you. It's insane. This guaranteed went on. I believe Virginia. Okay. Here we go. Preliminary statement facts. The following facts are undisputed. Additional undisputed facts are set forth in specific argument sections. All paragraphs containing undisputed facts will be sequentially numbered. Ms. Maxwell's response to publications of plaintiff's false allegations, the March 2011 statement. In early 2011, plaintiff in two British tabloid interviews made numerous false and defamatory allegations against Ms. Maxwell. Exhibits A and B in the articles, plaintiff made no direct allegations that Ms. Maxwell was involved in any improper conduct with Jeffrey Epstein, who had pleaded guilty in 2007 to procuring a minor for prostitution. Nonetheless, plaintiffs suggested that Miss Maxwell worked with Epstein and may have known about the crime for which he was convicted. See generally Exhibits A and B. In the articles, plaintiff alleged she had sex with Prince Andrew, a well-known businessman, a world-renowned scientist, a respected liberal politician, and a foreign head of state. In response to the allegation, Miss Maxwell's British attorney, working with Mr. Gao, issued a statement on March 9, 2011, denying the various allegations about Miss Maxwell that have appeared recently in the media. These allegations are all entirely false. Statement read in full. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to add this because it's very long. So I hope you appreciate my little bit that I read to you. I'm going to move on and pick another subject. If you have any recommendations or things that you would like to dive into, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and please share. All right. Have a good one.